Welcome to our program. Thank you for joining us to kick off Pivot Bio's 2022 season. I'm Tracy Willits. I lead communications for Pivot Bio, and I'll be your host for this program. We have a fantastic lineup of speakers covering topics ranging from Pivot Bio's newest nitrogen product, Pivot Bio Proven 40, to hearing from growers who are using our microbes on their operations right now. We will share in-season product performance data, and farm broadcaster Max Armstrong will share his perspectives on the state of agriculture. Be sure to stay for the last 30 minutes of our program when we will have a Q&A session with Pivot Bio experts and grower Corey Atley, who is known for his role on the TV series Corn Warriors, and also happens to be using Pivot Bio Proven 40 on his corn acres this year. Our first guest is Pivot Bio CEO and co-founder Karsten Temme. But before we speak with Karsten, let's watch this short video about our heroes at Pivot Bio, the farmers who keep our country going.
6:45 in the morning with a chance of showers.
Farmers have always taken care of what they value. Through hard work and resilience, they cultivated bountiful land. As the country grew, great revelations led to a green revolution, one that helped feed the world. Then it happened. Fewer hands worked the land, while more lived off it. Yet farmers took on the challenge. They pivoted, improved, and fed a nation hungry for progress. As Americans dialed up, farmers dialed in. Precision on the farm led to yields once thought impossible. But when it came to nitrogen, it wasn't precise or predictable enough. Not for the farmer, the crop, nor the environment. Today, Pivot Bio provides a better way to deliver a more dependable and productive nitrogen in the field, while giving growers a new tool to take care of what matters most. Farmers deserve a nitrogen worthy of who they are and what their land can provide. And now there is one. It's time to turn to a better nitrogen.
I'm here today with Karsten Temme, CEO and Pivot Bio co-founder. Welcome, Karsten.
It's great to be here.
Tell us a little bit about the Nitrogen Turning Point tour that you've been on.
Last few weeks I've been across the Midwest getting to interact with growers, our sales reps, and really seeing our new product, Pivot Bio Proven 40 in action. And really see what it means to have a better way to put nitrogen in the plant. So lots of great stuff out there.
Tell us what you're hearing most from growers. You've had lots of interactions with customers using our product in 2021. What are they asking you about?
You know, in a lot of ways, what we're trying to do is redefine what it means to serve growers well when it comes to nitrogen. And our products are all about being able to guarantee that nitrogen we want to purchase ends up in the crop and fuels a bigger, healthier factory for producing grain. And it's like a breath of fresh air when I'm talking to folks that we have new tools for measuring that nitrogen in the plant during the growing season, and that our new product, Pivot Bio Proven 40, is a step up in what it means to have nitrogen from a reliable, dependable source.
Well, tell us just a little bit more about Pivot Bio Proven 40 and what we can expect to see next season.
Sure. You know, you probably know us from our inaugural product, Pivot Bio Proven, and that was a product that it delivers about 25 pounds of nitrogen per acre to the crop. The new product, as you might guess, it's 40 pounds of nitrogen. Gives you a great ability to start shifting the delivery source of your nitrogen. So less reliance on that synthetic nitrogen fertilizer and more dependability coming from the microbes.
Sure. As you look ahead, what else is ahead for Pivot Bio? What can growers look forward to?
It's just the beginning. You know, in some ways, that number 40 is one step along the path to 100% of the nitrogen that the crop needs. So you can expect more innovation from our team, better products as the years go by. Our goal is not to stop just with Pivot Bio Proven 40. Instead, our challenge is how can we deliver 100% of the nitrogen that corn needs And can we do it within the decade? On top of that, we want to be able to be here for the long haul. We're here to serve year after year and decade after decade, and build products that work on every crop you might rotate into. Be here to serve every acre in your operation.
Thank you, Karsten. Next, we'll speak with Product Development Lead Ernie Sanders to learn more about Pivot Bio Proven 40. But first, let's watch this short video featuring some of our grower customers and the challenges they face in managing nitrogen on their farms.
In farming, all the variables are so erratic. The markets swing so much. The weather can change, and we have no control over most of those variables.
Every single year it's either too wet or too dry. Knowing that we can't control the weather and the commodity prices and those types of things, we have to really hone in and focus in on the details of our operation.
One thing that is difficult when managing nitrogen throughout the season is the simple fact that, is it there or not? Is it still there from the time that it actually got applied to the time that it counts?
Nitrogen is always something of a challenge. How do I apply it? How do I keep it? How do I keep it from escaping? Is it still there?
In my area, you put too much on at once and it can all disappear before your crop is done.
Did it leach or did it denitrify? Did it volatilize? All of those things are major factors in where your nitrogen is at and how your corn is going to do at the end of the year.
It all comes down to really ROI. I mean, we're trying to push our bushels to the extreme. There's very little room for error when it comes to nitrogen management.
We're trying to make sure we have enough nitrogen in the ground at the time when the plant needs it, and that we're not applying too much from an environmental standpoint, and we're not applying too little that we short ourselves and we're not getting the best yield potential out of our crop.
One response you could take from an elusive nutrient like nitrogen is just do the same thing over and over every year and expect the same results. A product that can stay where it's at, put a little bit of a catch on that elusive nutrient of nitrogen.
When we first stumbled onto Pivot Bio and I started talking to friends and saying, we're trying this product, and they said, you're kidding me, if that works, we're gonna wanna use that forever.
Ernie Sanders, Pivot Bio's product development lead, joins me here today. Ernie, welcome.
Thanks, Tracy. Glad to be here.
We just watched a video about all the uncertainties farmers have to deal with. Tell us how Pivot Bio Proven takes some of those uncertainties out of their farming.
Well, farming is a risky business, as proven this year by the weather changes we've had from drought to tornadoes to floods. But what you see from Pivot Bio Proven 40 is a consistent, dependable nitrogen that you can count on in your farming practices.
Tell me a little bit more about what growers can expect when they use Proven 40.
So we've had over 600 locations this year, multiple years of testing from Proven 40. And what you see is the ability for a grower to reduce up to 40 pounds of synthetic in his field and still have the same amount of nitrogen that you would have if you would have applied 40 pounds or more of synthetic. So we're delivering the value of that synthetic, and we're better for the farmers with value because we're consistently there and performing, and we're better for the environment.
Tell the growers watching us today a little bit about how our product works and why they can count on it instead of synthetic nitrogen fertilizer.
Great question. Love to hear those kind of questions because our product goes down at planting. It starts to work as soon as that corn plant emerges and has a root that goes out. It takes nitrogen out of the air, makes ammonia, and feeds it to that corn plant on a consistent daily basis. Synthetic fertilizer, you're lucky to get 40 to 60% of it inside the plant. We are very, very efficient at getting our product inside the plant because our product lives on the outside surface of those corn roots, excretes ammonia, and it's taken up every day into that plant.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us, Ernie, and sharing all that information. Next, let's hear from members of our field team and our customers who are using Pivot Bio products on their operations.
So nitrogen's food, right? We all like to eat. So does corn. A product like Proven 40 is constantly right there, buffet, giving food to that corn plant.
The microbes are probably the most predictable thing in the system. I mean, are you gonna get wet? Are you gonna be dry? Is it gonna be cold? Is it gonna be hot? There's a lot of factors that can affect that synthetic or that petroleum-based nitrogen When I have Pivot Bio, I know those microbes are going to be there on the roots delivering nitrogen to the plant.
We know it's there the whole growing season. We don't have to worry about, well, did it leach away? Did it volatilize?
It's just one of those tools that we know's there, it's working. It's had a positive impact on our operation.
Pivot Bio, if I use it and it's staying there in the soil and it's doing what it's supposed to do, then that's one less variable I have to worry about.
As farmers build their plan for nitrogen, they should turn to a better nitrogen in Pivot Bio Proven 40 because it's more efficient. All of our nitrogen is produced in the ammonia form, and so therefore it goes into the plant. It's 100% absorbed by the plant.
Proven 40 can be the foundation of your nitrogen management plan because it's going to be there all season long. It's a guaranteed 40 pounds.
Pivot Bio Proven 40 gives growers the opportunity to get more nitrogen into their plant, to get more flexibility in their operation, and to improve their operations overall.
If I can, how do I eliminate one more pass across the field? Because that adds up really quick. A lot of guys have eliminated their side dress application because they get the metabolizing effect of side dressing with this product. Other guys will eliminate UAN in their sprayer pass on the beginning because it's just one less hassle.
Proven 40 is going to allow growers to offer 40 pounds of nitrogen to their crop that's going to be there when they need it the most.
They know those 40 pounds are going to be there no matter what happens with the weather the rest of the season.
It doesn't wash away, it doesn't volatilize into the air, so nobody likes to spill their plate, right? Proven 40 will provide that full plate to that corn plant.
Pivot Bio is there with your roots. It's not getting washed away, it's not evaporating, it's there, it's working every day. You can sleep better at night knowing that you've got that working for you.
Corey Atley joins us now from Western Ohio. Thanks for being with us tonight, Corey. Tell our viewers a little bit more about your operation.
Well, thanks for having me. Corey Atley from Cedarville, Ohio. Farm 8,000 acres of corn and soybeans. We normally do a 4,000 acre split between corn and soybeans.
How long have you been using Pivot Bio products on your farm?
We have been using Pivot Bio on our operation. This will be our third year now. So, and this year it's on about 80% of all of our corn acres.
Tell us how you've incorporated Pivot Bio products into your operation over the years.
The first year that we tried it, we really didn't want to cut back nitrogen. We wanted to see where it would have a play. Second year, we really started cutting back on the nitrogen, tried a bunch of different rates to see where it could come. And now with the new Proven 40 product, we're really excited to keep cutting back with the nitrogen and try to make it more of a nitrogen play and more, we set up the financing that way, when we're trying to do our input scheduled in for the fertilizer side instead of more of the in-furrow side of things.
How has Proven 40 improved your nitrogen program this past season?
It's always good to have that extra in-season nitrogen. I still go back. I think that's one of the best slogans ever. It's working whether or not, because that's true. We can put on nitrogen, but we don't know what the weather is going to be after we do it. So if we can have a secure form, for up to that 40 pounds of nitrogen, then that's a good stable form to be able to be there in the plant, whether we can or not. I never thought I'd see the day where you're putting a product in furrow at planting to be able to help feed nitrogen all the way throughout the season. But here we are. So it's very easy to be skeptical because I was, because, this has been a long-term problem that we've always fought with narrow rows is, well, how do we get in? How do we side dress? How do we drop, wide drop or anything like that? So having a product like this has really helped that.
What are you hoping to see this fall on your corn acres that have Proven 40?
I'm very excited for what we're going to see with the Proven 40. We've been doing a lot of different studies on it, a lot of tissue tests, sampling, the chlorophyll test. The amount of nitrogen that we've already seen where we have it compared to where we don't is pretty tremendous. So if we can see where we cut back to nitrogen and still see a better yield gain, I'm going to be really excited for it. We've had a pretty good growing season here this year, so I can't wait for harvest. But as of today, everything that we've seen, it's definitely working.
I'd love to hear about your experience on Corn Warriors. Tell us what you've learned from the show and how are you using it on the farm.
Well, being on Corn Warriors, that's a blast. I mean, we have fun. The whole crew is great to be around. I was really nervous at first. I'm thinking, man, having all these cameras around are going to slow down our operation. We don't have time for this. One, my dad's going to kill me. Why is the planter sitting? Oh, we're hooking up cameras on it. Well, they weren't. I mean, they worked so fast on getting, the camera set up to make it seamless. The thing that a lot of people don't understand is that's probably 12 to 14 hours of footage for a 10-minute episode, for all the footage. So it's crazy to me to see how much they work just for a little bit of footage. There's so much more behind the scenes that is going on. But, for the farm standpoint, just being able to talk and, be able to text and have different outlets with all these other growers have been great because, hey, you can bounce off different ideas of them. You can ask them about products. I've learned so much more just in the year and a half of being on this show, just because you're surrounded by great people, very knowledgeable, very smart people. I mean, every one of these guys, they're the top of their game, top of the class. So just being able to be in the same room on them or be able to text them, give them a phone call, that's been a great blessing.
How does Pivot Bio fit into your plans to continually improve your overall operation?
Well, that's been a really great marriage with Corn Warriors and with Pivot Bio because, they have really supported their product. They have been here whenever we needed them with the product, no matter what questions I have had, any problems or just, straight up knowledge of the product. Everything has been there. It's been a great relationship going forward, and when I look at different companies on this, and they're coming to Corn Warriors and we all get the chance to use it. Well, yeah, I mean, we're doing it because we want to step up our game. We want to better our farm. And when you start talking nitrogen use, there's a huge misconception, from people watching the show with Corn Warriors thinking, man, they're just throwing out tremendous amount of nitrogen. Well, that's not always true. We're very mindful of how much we're putting out. So if we can find a better way to do something, especially a cheaper way to be able to save more money and make more money, we're definitely going to try it. And we want it to work, and it has been working. So for us, it's definitely a no-brainer moving forward. I just hope mine works a little bit better than everybody else's.
Well, best of luck with the rest of the season, Corey, and we'll look forward to having you as part of our Q&A later in the show. Joining me now is Lisa Peterson, a grower and an independent sales rep for Pivot Bio from Northern Iowa. Thanks for joining us today, Lisa.
Thanks, Tracy. Glad to be here.
Tell us a little bit about your farming operation in Northern Iowa.
So I'm a third-generation farmer on my family farm. The operation is mainly corn and soybeans with my parents are still involved in the operation as well as my husband. And how I got involved is we were one of the original 250 growers in 2019 for the commercial launch. And so that was the first time that we had Pivot Bio on our farm.
Well, you must have liked what you saw because then you became an independent sales rep. So tell us how things are going as a rep.
Things are going wonderfully. I love how Pivot Bio is continuing to innovate on their product. And, we've had 2 years now of the Pivot Bio Proven 25, and now we're going to the 40. And that's an exciting time to bring that to my customers. I think the more as we increase that percentage of synthetic nitrogen that we're replacing, that offers a greater value proposition to my customers in our area.
Yeah, that's great. Well, you have a lot of customers up in Northern Iowa. What kind of questions do you get from them, and what are you seeing on their fields as we move into harvest?
I think a lot of the questions begin with, does it work, right? Biologicals haven't always had a great history, and so they're wanting to know, how does it work? Why does it work? What's the technology? So we always start there. This is a microbe, and it is a nitrogen-fixing microbe. We start there, and then going into, how does it work on my farm? How do I have to apply it? What are some of those stewardship questions? And ultimately, is it going to impact my bottom line?
And as we get into selling Pivot Bio Proven 40, how are customers looking forward to that?
I think that increased nitrogen amount helps change the game a little bit. You might be skipping a Y-drop application. You might be skipping your side dress application, or some are just going to reduce up front. But it gives the farmers a little bit more flexibility on how they use it within their operation and how it best fits for them.
Great. Well, thanks for joining us today, Lisa.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Clayton Nevins, an agronomic scientist at Pivot Bio, is up next to share results from fieldwork that shows Pivot Bio Proven 40 is delivering more nitrogen into the plant.
Thanks, Tracy.
At Pivot Bio, we're always looking for ways to improve nitrogen management on the farm. And a key to doing that is measuring how much nitrogen is in the plant during the growing season. We developed some different methods and testing regimens to show how Proven 40 is performing in the field and is replacing synthetic nitrogen. During the 2021 growing season, we wanted to see how Proven 40 performed in the field across different soil types, geographies, and nitrogen management programs. We had 344 farmer demonstration locations across 24 states, and at each of these locations we had 2 treatments. A 35-pound reduction of synthetic with Proven 40 versus an untreated check, which was the standard farmer nitrogen program. The first test we did was a real-time in-season wet weight and CCI test, where we collected plants from the field and measured plant fresh weight and collected chlorophyll concentration readings as a proxy for nitrogen content. The results from this across the country was that on average we saw a 7% increase in fresh weight over the treated check, and we saw a 5.5% increase in plant nitrogen uptake. So the big takeaway from this data is that Proven 40 is not only replacing synthetic nitrogen in the field, but it's actually delivering more nitrogen into the plant versus the grower's standard nitrogen program. And so to confirm what we were seeing in the field, we collected plants from these locations and sent them back to the lab, where they measured plant dry weight and plant nitrogen uptake across different growth stages. And the results were that we saw a 6% increase in dry weight and a 2.5% increase in nitrogen uptake across the growing season. And the big takeaway from that is that with Proven 40, we're seeing bigger plants with more nitrogen uptake on a per acre basis. And I also want to give a big thank you to our research partners from the different land-grant universities across the country. We're doing our own field research here at Pivot Bio, but we're also partnering with some of the best institutions to test our products and really put it through its paces. So far, the results have been positive, and there's a continued interest from our university partners for the opportunity to keep testing our products for growers in their regions. In summary, Proven 40 is putting more nitrogen in the plant, not just the soil, and that's the way we think nitrogen management should be measured. So we'll keep delivering more and more products that'll do just that. Thank you.
Thanks, Clayton. It's impressive to see this data before harvest, and we're excited for the combines to roll. Next up is Max Armstrong, who is watched and heard by thousands of farmers, ranchers, and consumers across the U.S. He's here tonight to share with us his unique perspectives on the state of agriculture. Max, thanks for joining us.
Well, those are impressive numbers, to be sure, backing up what you've seen from the eye out there in those corn plants. It is a privilege to join you here. I'm Max Armstrong from This Week in Agribusiness to share some comments with you about how I see the state of agriculture here in the summer of 2021, and I suppose I could be as wrong as anyone else. You know, it's interesting to see the proliferation of crystal ball gazers in the farm sector now. I think there are more market economists, analysts, and advisors than we've ever seen applying their trade out there. They're all trying to figure out where the prices are going to go, and it's interesting as you talk to some of the folks who, well, should know about this. It looks like prices could continue to be supported on through to harvest of next year. Greg Dowd made that comment the other day. Dowd was one of the negotiators on the U.S.-China trade agreement of the Trump administration. He's out of the private sector now as an economist, and he spoke to the American Feed Industry Association. He said he does not see prices falling before the harvest of 2022. But who knows what black swan event could happen out there. As we've seen in recent years, things can develop. A friendly factor on the standpoint of interest rates. They have stayed low, and I think there are a lot of us who believe they're going to remain fairly low when you look at the continued inflationary pressures in the economy, notwithstanding the comments about transitory inflation from the chairman of the Federal Reserve. Then you look at some of these things outside of agriculture, outside of the markets, outside of weather and interest rates. And there's a lot to be concerned about when it comes to governmental affairs. The possible changes on the stepped-up basis, of course, many of you have sat down with your economist, your accountant, and looked over this and realized how devastating it could possibly be. There's the issue of private property rights, the waters of the United States issue yet to be resolved, and that leads to another property rights issue, solar farms. The panels being installed out there on farmland, on some of the most productive land on the planet. And what I see that is troubling about this issue is the divisiveness, not just within the township, the divisiveness within families about what to do with this offer that comes from a company that wants to put solar panels out there. I know of 3 different families with whom I've spoken, a member of each of those 3 families, who said it's viewed totally different by the older generation of the family. That farmer who has invested in that land over the decades, raised the productivity, made significant improvements such as extensive drainage, and wants to look out on that land and take pride in its productivity, not wanting to see anything else standing out there. Conversely, the generation coming behind looks at the income opportunity being offered here and saying, hey, we can't get anything like this by farming that ground. No income would be anywhere close to this particular offer. The divisiveness, I guess, is a concern to me. I hate to see farm families split on a matter such as this. So there's a lot to watch, a lot to be engaged in. I think that's the most important term I want to leave with you. The fact that in the political process, as unattractive as it may be, as distasteful as it may be, you have to still be involved in working with your elected officials and maybe getting involved in the process directly yourself. We look forward to being out there with you along the way in the months ahead. Sure appreciate the opportunity to work with the folks from Pivot Bio to help tell that story and to visit with you during harvest season, some of you to remind you about Pivot Bio, proven the nitrogen-producing microbes that stay put, whether or not. Have a good day. Have a safe harvest.
Thank you, Max. Joining me next is Mark Reisinger, our commercial lead for Pivot Bio. Thanks for being here, Mark.
Thank you.
Let's start off with telling us a little bit more about our new product.
So we're really excited to launch this year with Pivot Bio Proven 40. From our first generation product, which was 25 pounds, we've been able to build a new product that is 40 pounds of nitrogen equivalent in the field. So it gives farmers the opportunity to reduce their nitrogen by up to 40 pounds and get the same as or better than results because our product doesn't leach. It doesn't denitrify. It goes in the plant as opposed to in the soil. It's a great opportunity for our growers.
And why is now such an important time to be out there talking about our new product?
We have a launch period at Pivot Bio. This first 2.5-week period from August 30th today until September 17th. And in that period of time, growers can get the best available price through their reps. Now, we did this last year. We had tremendous success, but all of our reps know when we say the best available price is at the front end of the season, it's at the front end of the season. We're going to be consistent. So if you want to get your customers the best available price, get them in the door, get them through the app before the 17th. That'll get them down to 52 cents a pound, which is flat pricing from last year. Now, last year we were talking about per acre, but all of our reps know when you buy nitrogen, you buy it by the ton or by the pound. And we're 52 cents. We're the same as last year. Show me another nitrogen source in the nation that's flat this year. So we think we've got a huge advantage. We've got a lot of tailwind going into this year. We really want people to sign up their customers in the first period between today and the 17th. And the reason is we have a fermented product. We grow ours in vats. We don't mine our product. And we need that early signal. We've sold out for the last 3 years. Our reps know that. We're all excited about that, but we would like to be able to produce enough to cover the customer need. So to get those early signals, to push this great big launch period early, really helps us with supply management and demand planning. So early sales, best available price, let's go out and get it done.
So it sounds like a win-win. You get in between now and September 17th to provide customers with the best price possible, and it also helps ensure adequate supply through the entire season for our reps and customers.
Absolutely. Tremendous opportunity for the company and for our reps, and especially for our customers.
Great. So what else is going on at Pivot Bio?
Well, in addition to Proven 40, and it's easy just to talk about Proven 40 because we're really excited about the second gen product, we are really excited to expand our offering on Return, Pivot Bio Return, which is available for sorghum. We've got it out there. There's wheat on the label, there's sunflowers on the label, there's sorghum, but we see a huge potential based on the data that we had from last year to really double down on sorghum. We think we're going to go 5x where we were last year in regards to the number of sales. And that's not coming from us and our own data analytics and looking at these plots. This is coming from pre-sales and customers talking about how they want to increase and go whole farm on sorghum. So, whether it's Return or Pivot Bio Proven 40, we hope that we're putting our reps in a great position to have a lot of success early.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
And thank you for spending time with us this evening to hear more about Pivot Bio and our nitrogen-producing microbial product for corn, Pivot Bio Proven 40, and our product for sorghum, Pivot Bio Return. Next is a Q&A part of our program where you can type in questions for our experts using the chat option on Zoom. Before we start the Q&A, we have a short video to share. It captures the excitement and high energy of our company and our sales reps. We are thrilled to work alongside you to offer farmers a better nitrogen.
Pivot Bio, it's a game changer. It's an industry leader.
Fixing nitrogen from the air is the holy grail in agriculture, and that's where Pivot Bio is fitting in.
If you'd asked me 10 years ago if I would have been excited about nitrogen, I don't know. Now we have something that's like cutting edge.
Proven 40 is a better nitrogen source because it stays put. You don't have to worry about it leaching, you don't have to worry about it volatilizing.
It's not a synthetic fertilizer that you put out there and you hope the plant runs into. It actually grows with the plant and feeds it continually.
It doesn't matter the soil type, it doesn't matter the growing conditions, our microbes show up and go to work each day.
You can visit with growers across the country, hear nothing but rave reviews.
It's always there. It's always working. You can count on it.
I know that nitrogen is going to be there. It doesn't matter if it's going to rain a whole lot.
We've seen better plant mass, better color in the plant, better root development, just an overall healthier living plant.
The stalks are bigger, the leaves are bigger, there's more chlorophyll in the plant. That's all because of the nitrogen that's getting into the plant.
We're offering a product that does what we need it to do agriculturally, but it also has benefits ecologically, environmentally.
I grew up on the farm, but I'm also a sportsman, I'm a fisherman. I don't know a grower that doesn't want to be a better steward of the land.
That's where there's a really neat play with farmers. You get to marry both the economics as a farmer and the environmental side of things.
We're standing on ground that my great-grandparents farmed, so it's pretty important to me to take care of what we have here so that generations to come can continue to prosper from our soil.
My confidence in Pivot Bio as a company is very high. It brings a level of excitement into the marketplace that we haven't had. It brings a new product into the nitrogen space that we haven't had.
I'm very big into the biological space. We work with tons of companies and great companies. Pivot Bio is something that everybody sees kind of on the top of the hill.
It's one of the few products out there that even with Mother Nature, it's predictable. That's what farmers want. They need that certainty, and they get it with Pivot Bio.